live on DAZN.com. Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Skull. Friday, May 2nd from 6 p.m. Eastern and Saturday, May 3rd from 7 p.m. Eastern. A knockout weekend of boxing. Pick one or go all in for $90 exclusively on DAZN. Buy now using the link in the description box below.
Put the fight on.
I will be live in New York at the City Winery doing an on-stage live performance. You guys, please show up. The tickets are on sale now. Check the link in the description box and in the comments below.
Because what I was going through online, and it didn't really bother me, but it was like even close friends, people that are classed as family, left me. They had a lot to say about me.
I hope I have the opportunity to have that rematch with people. That's the only fight in 175 I really take. I have 50% on my abilities right there. No condition, nothing, because I can run and I can throw, do pads and sparring. And I have a 1 month no sparring because my hand.
You couldn't run either, you said?
No.
Because of your knee?
Yeah.
Okay, I genuinely don't see the issue, nor do I get the outrage. All right, we have a few things to talk about in this video, including the George Foreman autographed boxing gloves. I have 2 of them. I will be giving them both away this weekend for the Conor Ben and Chris Eubank Jr. fight. We all looking forward to that. I'll be giving it away during that fight. All right, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow MyBookie because it's sponsored by MyBookie. My bookie that I wanna try. So follow MyBookie on Instagram, and the link is in the description box below to MyBookie's Instagram. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Fedora for defending, her championship and ending in a knockout. We'll be viewing that fight at the end of this video when we enter the zone war room. Okay, we have a few things to talk about, but let's first talk about this Canelo situation. Few of you guys DMing me all weekend about this, okay? Saying how Canelo Alvarez is making excuses.
And I have a 1 month no sparring because my hand.
You couldn't run either, you said?
No.
Because of your knee?
Yeah.
So knee injury and a hand injury.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to break this down as much as I possibly can because I don't get the issue. I really don't. Canelo Alvarez said that Dimitri Bivol is a good fighter.
Oh, he's good. He's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. You can see. And everybody say, oh, he's nothing, he choose a fighter. But he's a good fighter. He's one of the best fighters out there.
He even punches me in the stomach. Remember when I'm naming fighters better than him, I named Dimitri Bivol, he punches me in the stomach, saying that Dimitri's better than him. He won't be better than Dimitri Bivol until he beats him. Dimitri Bivol.
I don't show you? Or what? In that night, he was better than me.
So he gives him his flowers, all right? But he says that he had a hurt hand and he's been dealing with a hurt knee, okay? And he couldn't train or what have you for that fight. And he's curious on how he would be at 100% or more healthy for the fight in a rematch. He wants his second shot at it because he doesn't feel like it's the best him. How is that an issue? Okay, we're gonna go into detail in a minute, but I just think about just the idea of it. How is that an issue? Number one, let's just say, for example, Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda, all right? That's going to be on an undercard of Shiraz and Berlanga, and we're gonna have to talk about that later in this video. But let's say Zepeda beats him. And we all know that Shakur has chronic hand issues. I would, I would wonder how the fight would go if he was healthy, if Shakur was healthy. I don't, listen, when Floyd fought Castillo the first time and he won in a controversial victory, many people think that Castillo was robbed. We all know Floyd had an injured shoulder, rematched him. He said he had an injured shoulder.
The last, my last training day, I hurt my I think my rotator cuff in my left shoulder, so I wasn't able to use my jab like I wanted to. My left wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. But I ain't want to have no excuses like like other champions when they get hurt, they don't even show up to the fight. I get hurt, I keep fighting. I want to bring the fans, big. All right.
And he rematched him and he beat him. I mean, clean. He beat him clearly the second time. All right. I think Lomachenko had a hurt shoulder against Tio. I think Tio had a small fracture in his foot against Loma. I do think Pacquiao had a hurt shoulder. I keep telling you guys, excuses versus reason, all right? And I know many of you who new to this channel or have short-term memory are going to say, well, oh, here we go, Canelo Alvarez being supported by ShowBizz now that, he met him on the zone and shit like that. I said the exact same thing that Canelo was saying about I wonder how it would be if Canelo was healthy. I said that 2 years ago.
That hand was hurting before Bivol. He had a hand injury before Bivol. I'm just saying, Canelo at 100% may be a different fight for Bivol. All I'm saying, Canelo was fighting back to back and then fought Bivol. All I'm saying is Canelo with a break, with rest at 100%, it may be a different fight. After surgery, may be different. That's all I'm saying. I'm just curious.
So miss me with the bullshit. I'm extremely consistent with this. When a fighter brings up what happened or be transparent and tell us, what's been going on, I like to know information about boxing. We claim to want to know information about these fighters, and then when they give it to us, it's like, bro, no, keep it real. You're a warrior. Many times warriors don't enter the ring at 100%. Listen, Bivol and Better BF, they both said they weren't 100% for their first fight. They were closer to 100% the second fight. I mean, it's okay to say, I was injured or I didn't feel at my best and I would like a second go at it. How are people falling apart in my DMs about this? But let's prove a few things, okay? And I got receipts, and I showed you guys before. Canelo Alvarez, he was injured before the Bivol fight. Look at how he's wincing and the noises he's making just for getting his hands wrapped and putting his glove on. Bro, obviously he was hurt, all right? He had a hurt wrist. Then he fought Bivol, he lost, and then he followed that up fighting Triple G, and after that, they exposed exactly, after the Triple G fight, they exposed exactly what's wrong with his hand. Actually, it was a tear in his wrist.
Someone has a TFCC tear, which is a piece of cartilage in the wrist, which affects the body's ability to mobilize that joint without feeling impingement and sharp pain. If he has a surgery, depending on what the surgeon decides, probably 6 to 8 to 12 weeks.
Dude, that's after the Triple G fight. That wasn't even after Bivol. He didn't even say nothing after Bivol, but he was dealing with his hand since Caleb Plant, but he wasn't saying anything, and then they exposes it all after Triple G, and then you see video of him after the surgery getting the cast cut off. Bruh. What y'all think all of this is a damn lie? He had an injured hand. He had an injured hand. All right? It's not like that's why Bivol won. It's not like, let me start saying a bunch of bullshit. No, that's the truth of the matter. He had an injury in his wrist. He got surgery. And he's curious now in a rematch how it would go if he's closer to his best. He think he'll put on a better performance, which he already put on a good performance last time, but he think he'll do even better. What the hell? How is that? I don't even get the issue. Well, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. It's right there. I mean, what kind of men are y'all? It's right there. You got the surgery. You got video of it and everything. Just don't talk. Shut your asses. Look, and the thing about the knee, we all know he's been suffering with a knee injury or knee issues for a while now, right? You see him boxing with knee sleeves on. You saw him getting surgery on his knee, right? We have photos of that. I mean, we have receipts of all this. And when you have a knee issue, I have 2 bad knees. When something tears in your knee, your knee is constantly an issue, and it's going to get worse and worse the older he gets. It doesn't go away, right? I mean, if you guys have been injured, this is just being a real person, but on social media, you can't be real. I don't know what it is, but when you get on social media, it's like you don't speak rationally no more. Listen, I have no problem with Canelo, what he said. I had no problem with Shakur Stevenson. What he said about his hands against De Los Santos is true. That's why he was only fighting one-handed. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Pitbull is true. You're fighting one-handed, all right? The results are the results, but was that the best him? No, right? And how often is the best fighter getting in the ring? Not often. But I'm just, or the fighter at their best, at 100% getting in the ring? Not often, okay? But it doesn't mean you shouldn't mention shit. Mention shit, right? I mean, that's what I was saying about Errol Spence. Errol Spence, obviously you look different against Terrence Crawford. He knows if he mentions anything, people are going to tear him apart. So it's just like, but brother, at least for men, all right, rational people. Errol, say what was up. I mean, it's not really an excuse as much as okay, at least I know what's up. With Canelo is literally saying, this is what happened. I am curious on how good I would be or how the fight would go in a rematch. I desperately want another go at it. And I know the biggest criticism would be in the comments right now. Well, why did he do it? Because he's a warrior. Warriors do that.
But I ain't want to have no excuses like other champions. When they get hurt, they don't even show up to the fight. I get hurt, I keep fighting. I want to bring the fans, big. All
right. I know there's also a lot of people jumping in my email. I had a few emails and I had some messages on X in regards to Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda being the co-main of Shiraz versus Berlanga. They think they did Shakur dirty. Probably. As a boxing fan, I am more interested in Shakur versus Zepeda far more than Berlanga versus Shiraz. Far more. As a boxing purist or a boxing analyst, I value Shakur more than I value Shiraz and Berlanga. I value William Zepeda more than I value Shiraz and Berlanga, me personally. So yeah, me personally, that'll be the main event for me, right? But then you gotta look at business-wise. Who is a more marketable person or fighter, Berlanga or Shakur? It's up to y'all to answer that in the comments. Berlanga just came from fighting Canelo, who was Shakur's biggest fight, right? Is it on Canelo's level? No. And he actually had like a parade after getting his ass whipped by Canelo. His stock jumped up, and then his last fight was a one round knockout. Berlanga is just on that, and Plant is definitely helping with on social media, they going viral, going back and forth. So, and Shakur is very well known, in my opinion, but what is he known for? I don't like what he's known for, and I don't think it's appropriate what he's known for. Like, people call him a boring fighter. He's known for that. That for me, I just don't agree. I think he had one boring fight in De Los Santos. I've been entertained every fight ever. Other than that, to be honest, I haven't been bored by Shakur Stevenson. He dropped Padley a few times. Padley just won by knockout, but he dropped him a few times and ended the fight by knockout, his very last fight on a fight card of the century. You saw what happened with Floyd Schofield III and Shakur Stevenson. That thing kind of went viral on if Floyd Schofield III ducked or not. So Shakur got a lot of things. It's just his brand is known as boring, and I think he's misbranded. And I think because of that, that's probably why Berlanga is the main event. I know His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh really likes Shiraz. I'll tell you that. So Shiraz will probably beat Berlanga, man. You know, so Shiraz got a huge opportunity here to become like a big deal. So, you know, I think a lot has to do with opportunity. And if you look at the names Berlanga and Shakur, y'all let me know who's bigger. I really don't know. Pause. I really don't know. Okay, let's move forward to Ben Whitaker. Ben Whitaker gets his revenge against Cameron, knocking him out in the second round. And he got emotional in the press conference.
Brother, I had 2 doors, and I couldn't really enjoy it too much because what I was going through online. And it didn't really bother me, but it was like even close friends, people that are classed as family, left me. They had a lot to say about me. But it was a great time to really just go back to the old Ben Whitaker, you know. Before the Olympics, I locked in, I trained hard, and I dedicated to the sport.
Listen, like I always say, everyone needs their asses whipped. All right, he's been humbled by it. It's messed up that he went through so much. He seems to have gone through a bit of a depression. It was hard. He had to turn off his socials and all that stuff. But you were in silk pajamas, Ben Whitaker. That's why you opted out in that last fight and faked the injury and all that stuff. That's why everything that happened with Ben was super well. Allegedly, he faked the injury. A lot of people just call bullshit on it. You know what I'm saying? And look at you now and what you did to Cameron, but look at how Cameron was catching up to you the first time. If you stayed in your silk pajamas and never got your ass whipped, right? And you stayed on that trajectory and you know, got out that fight with a victory or something like that, and you stayed on that trajectory, somebody would have bashed your head in. You wouldn't have been the better fighter. Like you said, you had to go back to ground zero. You had to go back to your roots after that. Everyone needs their ass whipped. And that, to me, reminds me of Gervonta Tank Davis. Who knows? Tank may come back and knock out Lamont Roach in the first or second damn round. I'm telling you, when you looked at Cameron versus Ben Whitaker the first time, you like, Ben Whitaker isn't as great as it seemed, right? Everybody starts saying, oh man, the guy's overrated. Then he stops Cameron in 2 rounds the second time. And it's like, oh shit. Because, bro, he just wasn't focused. Tank is extremely focused. Now, Lamont Roach is realer than Cameron. He's a better fighter than Cameron. All right, so if Lamont Roach is just a bad matchup and better than Tank, then it is what it is. But I'm saying you can't rule out the fact that there's a world where Tank comes back in a rematch totally focused and knocks and blows Roach away. Pause. The way Ben Whitaker did against Cameron. Now, the Fundora fight. We're in the zone war room.
We're in the zone war room.
Tiempos. Protégete a todos tiempos. Protect yourselves at all times, okay? I said 10 rounds. Good luck to you both. By the way, the belts, we're good right here, right in the letters for both, okay?
Plenty of confidence, and she believes she has the recipe to upset the apple cart. Here we go. Main event. Fundora versus Badillo.
You know, among the challenges Badillo faces, that she averages around 30 punches per round. Fundora averages close to 60. So that is an activity gap that needs to be overcome somehow.
Badillo fighting for the first time ever outside of Mexico. Everything here tonight is brand new to her.
That straight left was nice and crispy. And I love Fundora's stance, man. It's a power stance. She's ready to just unload with power shots.
Badillo said, I have to push Fundora back. But right now, she's walking backwards.
Right now, Badillo is a relatively stationary target. Fundora's having no problem early on landing that straight left.
There's a left hand from Maryland.
That's a nice sneaky left hand by Maryland.
Yeah, she has to have some success early just to get her confidence up. Gabe, she looked a little nervous during that ring walk, didn't she?
Yes, she did. That's what she needs to do.
Yeah, Badillo trying to sit down on a left hook. She got caught with a left from Fundora.
See, she's staying low like that. You got to bob and weave.
Fundora, a couple of clean shots there, and Badillo holding on. The only blemish on Badillo's record was a 6-round draw back in 2019 in her 10th pro fight.
And Fundora's.
Oh, I was going to say she's leaving that chin up in the air, and Fundora's exposing it. And now working the breadbasket. The referee wisely letting him fight out of the break.
Badillo looking at the referee, trying to get him to break it up. The referee's looking back at her saying, hey, Fundora's throwing punches. You're the one grabbing. Let go.
And that's what's great about these 2-minute rounds, Gabe. It's balls to the wall, for the lack of a better term.
She's looking at the ref like she's punching me. What? Yeah, you're in the fight.
Well, Badillo's going to have to make a decision here pretty soon, and maybe she's already made it. Is she just going to make it to the end of the fight, or is she going to give it her all to try and win? She's going to have to take a lot of risks. These 2-minute rounds will just fly by. Oh, right hand from Fundora, but Badillo getting inside. That's what she's trying to do. Chris, I asked you for your prediction earlier today, and you thought that Badillo would be able to go all 10 rounds with Fundora. You still feel that way?
Yeah, look, she is a pretty sharp, defensive-minded fighter. When you have someone that came in with the kind of motivation, the kind of shape that Badillo clearly is in.
Right as you say that, she's getting lit up, but keep going.
She's taking shots, no doubt about that, but I haven't seen her hurt just yet. Certainly that knot on her forehead is a little bit concerning, but I don't see her winning many rounds, if any. But
You know, Fundora's landing some really good shots up top, but she's not really going down to the body. I think with Badillo, in order for her to get a knockout, she's going to have to soften her up to the body first. Because as long as Badillo's able to move around, she can make it through the fight. But you want to take those legs away with the body shots.
Fundora all smiles outside of the ring, but in the ring, she's constantly mean-mugging. Has that nasty scowl on her face. She said she wouldn't be happy unless she knocked Badillo out.
Stop! No more punching, no more punching. Let's go.
Whoa. That's how she's fighting right now.
I mean, a fighter with good upper body movement is not going to beat Gabriela Fundora. Like, to beat her, you have to have elite footwork. You have to show angles. You have to show her different things. Because Fundora, if there's a weakness, she doesn't have great footwork. She's a flat-footed fighter. The only kind of opponent I think that can beat her is one that has...
Oh, big straight left hand, best punch of the fight for Fundora.
Footwork. She's a flat-footed fighter. The only kind of opponent I think that can beat her is one that has...
Oh, big straight left hand, best punch of the fight for Fundora. Now she's lighting her up.
You know what I mean, Gabe? Like, you got to be able to show her angles and use your footwork.
Yeah, for sure. But one thing is that Fundora just has that. She really doesn't have to have the best footwork because her range and the length, you know, make up for it.
10 seconds. Let her go, let her go, let her go. Tempo.
Gabriela Fundora.
Chris, how far up and weight is she going to have to go where she's at least in a 50-50 fight with somebody?
I don't think it's as far, perhaps, as you think, because I do think she's hittable. Like, we've seen that. And in a lot of ways, she's like her brother, who's a great fighter, unified champion at 154. As we see her close here.
Yeah, she's backed Badillo up. And that body movement and head movement is slowed down.
But when you go up against women that are 118 pounds and above, they are going to be bigger punchers, and I think they will find a measure of success. Not to say that Gabriela Fundora can't become undisputed at those weight classes as well, but I think those are more dangerous fights against bigger punchers. At 112 and underneath, there really isn't anybody right now that can threaten her.
Look at these left hands landing almost at will now for Fundora.
Fundora, she understands range. She knows how to use the footwork, when to step back, when to step in.
Oh, and she's down for the first time in her career. Badillo takes a knee.
4, 5, 6, 7, ya estuvo.
And that's it. Fundora defends her undisputed first time, and she did it in style.